this is how it starts. One road, one turn at a time. Familiar roads and familiar turns. So much so, it just felt normal. Or perhaps we hadn't recognised what we were setting out to accomplish. We were off on an overland adventure, driving across a good portion of this spinning rock, starting with France and then Switzerland. First stop on this initial sprint, the Eurotunnel. A Eurotunnel eerily quiet made for a quick stop before boarding the train that would whisk us onto the continent, taking us under the ocean and onto the road that would mark the start of this adventure. So this is where the adventure really begins. It's really weird, doesn't feel like it's here, this is the moment, this is everything we've been planning and preparing for, and just 45 minutes time we're going to be on the continent, and who knows when we're going to be crossing back. We were moving fast through France, much faster than we want to on this trip, but we have an important date in Italy, the wedding of a great friend in just a week's time. That's why we're sprinting to Switzerland. But it'd be rude not to make a few stops in France. Our first one would be Colmar on the French-German border. But it had been a long day, and we pulled up in a pretty sweet spot for the first camp of this expedition. After a good night's rest, we were greeted with a misty morning and a heart full of excitement. Taking the scenic route to avoid France's exorbitant tolls allowed us to settle into the rhythm of the trip and slowly transition from UK life. It was another long day, but as we reached Alsace, we were greeted with the vistas of vineyards. So we thought, why not spend a night overlooking one? So we did. Then it was off to town. Colmar is where history and beauty intertwine. Strolling through narrow streets, every corner reveals a new delight, from cosy cafes to artisanal boutiques. Known as Little Venice, Colmar's canals offer a serene escape, perfect for a leisurely boat ride amidst stunning scenery. With its enchanting blend of history, culture, and natural beauty, Colmar is a destination that will leave you spellbound. Next door to Colmar, Requevilles exudes medieval charm. In fact, it is called the gem of the Alsace wine route. Wandering the streets, you're confronted with half-timbered houses and blooming flowers, and a feeling like you've stepped back in time. If you weren't spellbound by Colmar, then Requevilles will certainly do the trick. It did for us. That was it. That was our time in France. Short, incredibly sweet, and a great way to start this adventure. Quaint country roads led into quaint country roads. The only difference? We're in another country. Switzerland. It was time to stretch our legs and see what our second country had in store for us. fell quickly for Switzerland. The open space is a welcome relief to the UK. We're keen to experience more and get into the mountains themselves. From Lauterbrunnen, we boarded the train to Wengen, taking us high into the mountains and offering incredible views of the valley. Our plan had been to catch the cable car to Mannlichen, but as we'd arrived during the spring melt, this was closed. So instead we hiked up the trail to Kleiner Schindig and on to lunch under the incredible Eiger. As a rock climber knowing the history of the North Face, I was captivated by the sight. We lazed for an hour, soaking in the views, the sun, and the freedom. With sore legs, it was time to explore the valley itself. And taking the many waterfalls spilling over the rock faces. And of course, being in Switzerland, we saw some cows. And some more cows. And some more cows. Lauterbrunnen is special, and an area both Mon and I would love to explore more. It felt truly revitalising to wander the green spaces and take in the views. But given Mon had to work, we have the perfect excuse to get back soon. And so the sprint continued, making our way further south and toward Italy. We hadn't planned the route much before and were surprised when we understood that our next transit would be on another train. Under a mountain. That mountain. We drove to Grimentz, the idea being to take a short break before heading to hike Lac de Mory. But guess what? Too early in the season, road and trail closed, so there goes camping under a glacier. At least for now. So instead we explored this traditional, out-of-season ghost town. with that we made our way into a different valley and camped near a waterfall, not far from the Matterhorn. Our plan to hike the following day was scuppered by rain, mist, more rain, and more mist. But toward the end of the day, Switzerland felt we deserved to see the mountains. The weather changed. And like that, our time in Switzerland was ending. Italy called. It's been too short a time in such a special place. We haven't even scratched the surface. But that's what happens when you sprint. Trust us. The rest of this trip, we will see less, but experience more. Until the next horizon.